the Prime Minister there at the Badrinath temple. This is a mega Astha push by the Prime Minister, who, remember, earlier visited Kedarnath. He performed darshan and puja at the temple. Currently, the visuals that you see on your screens are coming in from Badrinath, where the Prime Minister has just offered his prayers. He's spoken to the priests around as well at the Badrinath temple. Now look at the huge crowd that is gathered to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister just before the festival of Diwali. But his itinerary also includes an evening aarti followed by the initiation and review of a few development projects in Badrinath. The development projects in the state are worth over 3,500 crore rupees. Another interesting fact about the Prime Minister's visit is that he's wearing a handmade dress by the Chamba women of Himachal Pradesh. Remember, he was gifted the dress on his recent visit to Himachal, and at that point, he had promised the Chamba women that he in fact would wear it, and he's kept his promise. Currently waving to that huge crowd, as I pointed out, who have gathered to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. He's also accompanied by the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. You can also see the Governor of Uttarakhand, retired General Gurmeet Singh, also on your screens. All of these dignitaries also accompanying the Prime Minister as he waves to that huge crowd that have gathered to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. What really is expected right through the day? You've already seen the darshan and the puja at the Badrinath temple. Shortly, we're also expecting the inspection of development works at Riverfront and Saket Chowk. Then they'll be laying a foundation stone of road and ropeway projects. Later in the day, you'll also have inspection of development works at Arrival Plaza and Lakes. And in the evening, somewhere around 5 o'clock is what we're understanding, you will have the Badrinath thematic presentation as well. That is what the itinerary for the Prime Minister will look like. As I pointed out, this is a very crucial visit by the Prime Minister coming just days before the festival of Deepavali. But this is something that we've seen with the Prime Minister in the past as well, of how he's been reviving the Indian temples. You had the Mahakal Lok Corridor at Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain. You had rupees 30 crore circuit house near Somnath Temple for pilgrims. The Sheela Temple in existing Tukaram Temple in Pune. Dihu as well. Kalika Mata Temple atop the Pavagad Hill in Gujarat. You've seen all of these initiatives by the Prime Minister. But today, as I pointed out, this visit to Uttarakhand has a lot of significance. First, you saw the Prime Minister early in the day at Kedarnath, where he offered his, where he took blessings from the god at Kedarnath, and then he moved on to Badrinath, where once again we saw him performing darshan and puja at the temple, interacting with the priests as well. And now we can understandably, a huge crowd has gathered to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. Let me also bring in our guest who's been patiently waiting. Political analyst Varun Singh is joining us. Varun, good to have you on the broadcast with us. Before we talk to you about the political significance of this visit and what this means for the people of Uttarakhand, how do you see this visit of the Prime Minister? He's had back-to-back visits already in Gujarat, now in Uttarakhand, and also the timing of this visit coming just 2 days before Diwali.
You know, after 2 days, he will be in Ayodhya for the Deepatsava. So that is what is confirmed. So, happy to see a Prime Minister who doesn't shy away from saying or carrying his religion on his shoulder. There is no constitutional bar on the Prime Minister on carrying or following all these things. And one more important thing, what happens when a Prime Minister visits a state, at least when he visits any state, the road over there, the basic development connectivity improves. And he over here is not only on a visit for, paying his obeisances to the deities over there in the temple. He's also there to inaugurate projects that will be connecting these temples. Even over here, when you go to Varanasi, where the corridor for, Vishwanath corridor has been developed, earlier, what we used to see, the small gullies, narrow gullies, that they have been transformed into huge roads. And that is what development means, where it is a common basic thing. When road reaches a village, development reaches that village. And that is the basic thing that he's trying to do. These places have been ignored. These religious places which have been paying so much of money to the government, they have been ignored. Finally, a government has woken up that we have been taking money from the temple. High time we give something back to the temple as well as to the devotees. And it matters a lot when you see it electorally also. Because Hindus have always been, most of the times they have been felt or have been feeling that their religious aspects have been ignored. There have been a lot of outcry that the government always takes money from the temples but doesn't give back. Here is something that they are getting back from the government.
Right. And I also, before, as you rightly pointed out, before we talk to you about the political significance of what this means for Uttarakhand and the mega infrastructure push that we're seeing, the development push that we're seeing, look at this kind of attention to detail and how he wants to, value the sentiment of various people. Look at the attire that he is wearing. This is a handmade dress by the Chamba women of Himachal Pradesh. In his last visit, he had promised these women that I will wear it, and he's kept up that promise. This is something that has a lot of connection with people on the ground.
Absolutely. Small things like this, which bigger politicians or, people like us, who are too busy in our daily life, we ignore. But prime minister or people whom we call as a person who has attained a stature, they know that these small gestures mean a lot. Today, those women whom he had promised, and it looks so beautiful. It is also not just, an attire that he's wearing, he's promoting it. Look at it in a different way also. Now, many people would go there, would want to have those kind of dresses. It will improve, it will bring in more money for those women who have been making these kind of dresses, which was sort of like, had been on the back burner. Probably it might be in the front rows of stores over there, and people would love to have them. It will also bring in more money, more employment, and more opportunities for those women who have been weaving these kind of dresses. Even in the past, wherever he goes, he tries to do the things that local. In the last few years, the government, especially the BJP state governments, have come up with things: one district, one product. And this is somehow, relates to it. If you go in UP, you have almost 72 districts having one product of theirs. Now every local station has one station, one product. This is sort of promoting the local tradition and also bringing back development, bringing back, job opportunities and infrastructure and money to those people where it is needed, which has been sort of ignored in the past.